A very, very good morning to you. How are you doing? Welcome to your world. This is Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday.
It really does. I was about to say happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I have to remind myself it's actually a Tuesday. Very chilly morning, but we're here to warm it up. I'm Wikali Mary.
And my name is Winnie Lubaba. So excited about today's conversation, but also a little bit nervous/confused. But hey, we have experts there to help us undo the confusion.
Yes, there's a lot of, at least we agree, there's a lot of confusion.
Yep.
Because I think when you look at the beginning of like a relationship, love is beautiful. The sparks of lying, flashlights, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot, like our eyes, the stars.
Late night calls. You hang up. No, you hang up.
There's a lot of that. Yeah. But then what happens then when the hope fades, the silence checks in, the connection sort of is a distant memory of what it used to be. And now we are stuck in this space where we do not know what to do. And
this person you thought you knew so well suddenly becomes a stranger.
Yes.
You know, and their actions are like, gives you all the icks all the time.
Yes.
So that is what we want to understand on today's conversation on a Relationship Tuesday. We all love Relationship Tuesdays because we talk about mapenzi in the streets.
Yeah.
So you want to stick around until the end of the show to really understand that and more. And just in case you're wondering, okay, fine. So after you've said all that, what exactly are we talking about?
I know. We're talking about how to recognize that the relationship has come to an end.
Yes.
How do you know that this is it? Imefika mwisho, cannot be saved, will not be saved, I do not want to save it. How do you recognize that? Imeisha.
Okay, so stick around, like I said, until the end of the show. But at the same time, we have a question for you. And the question is very, very simple, okay? And the question is it selfish? Okay, is it selfish to leave a partner who still loves you, even though you're no longer happy? Okay, is it selfish? I know, I'm like, oh my God, oh, stings, yes. But that is the question that we're asking you today. That is it on your screen. Is it selfish to love a partner who still loves you, even if you are no longer happy? And what are the red flags? Engage with us as always at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, and tag us at Lubembe_Winnie.
And it's Wikali Mary.
All right, and of course our guests are already here. Also use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400 and let us know, is it selfish or is it not? We'll be going through your feedback as we continue with the conversation, but let's introduce our guests today. And we also have an audience. Hi guys, did you have a good Easter weekend? Did you rest? Is it a Monday? Hakuna mtu amevaa blue, maybe some with shades of blue. But it is okay. It's good to see you all of you this morning. But we have CJ Atemo with us today. Let me tell you, this man, we have tried to get him. Why? But he's very busy. But he made time today. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
It is so good to see you.
Did you have to begin with that?
I mean, the jury is here. But thank you so much for making the time.
You're welcome.
Really,
thank you for
really
having
good
me.
to see you. He's a life coach. We also have Charlotte Mariam. Alienda wapi?
Alipotelea
You
wapi?
disappeared. But you're here.
Oh!
So you nice comeback. I like that. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
She's a personal development coach. We also have Miriam Mwangi, who is a relationship coach. Hi, Miriam. Where does well,
very good student.
We have seen you. It's so good to see you. And we also have Esther Jerry, who's a marriage and family therapist. Hi. Good to see you again. You all look amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. You too.
Absolutely lovely. Oh, thank you. Thank you
both
very
look very
much.
Good. Yeah.
The question is very simple, and I'm like, where do we begin? A relation, it's complex, but also simple. You know, someone says.
I mean, we talked to Janet earlier after Fixing the Nation, and she had a few things to say. You can find out on our social media and NTV Kenya as well. But it's interesting that what she said is that we know sometimes that it's come to an end, but then there's a lot of in-betweens. There's a lot of, am I sure? Am I? Is it true? Is it rude? Is it rude that that I'm out of love with you? And what do I do with that?
But wait, the question is, so do we know that at the beginning of the relationship? Because you know, there are those signs, subtle signs, and we're like, well, maybe they had a bad day, or maybe they were busy, or maybe, you know.
At the beginning, I don't think it's very alarming.
Yeah.
Because there are also other beautiful things that are happening.
Oh, yeah, at the same
You're getting
time.
late night texts.
Yeah.
You're getting flowers here and there. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of other things that are happening.
Yeah.
So even if there's a thing, you wouldn't stand out and be like, "Ini kama
red flag."
No, you know, una paint color zako zote zenye uko nazo. It's a rainbow.
I think I'm a different breed.
Yes. You see them?
I see them.
And then that's it. Stage left, exit.
Not really.
Is that it?
Oh, no, we what is it called? We voice it out.
Yeah.
And then if nothing happens, we decide what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the difference would be the difference would be when things switch up in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm happy it's not a conversation that we're just going to have the two of us.
Listen, CJ, can you understand love? Okay. Someone says love is a doing word, and another word, love is this. Can we just understand first of all love in its sense, and then we'll now transition to the complexities of a relationship. You know, you see me, I see you, I like you, you like me, let's get into a relationship, and then somewhere along the line, I don't know you, you know? So let's understand first of all just love in itself.
Well, it has different branches to it, if I may. For most people, the emotional part is what they define love to be.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, Mikali is talking about, the sparks that you have. You're attracted to somebody.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're attracted, we actually think we're in love with the person because we're meeting them and seeing some positive attributes about them, things that click with us well, the chemistry that we have, and we decide that we're in love with this person. The harder part of love is the decision. That love is a decision.
You choose.
It does require you to consciously commit to somebody.
Okay.
That's the kind of love that then will make you either overlook certain things or will make you work out certain things or will make you stay on course even when everything seems to be crumbling. For most of us, we are not used to the love that is a decision. We are used to the love that is a feeling. And we easily get out of our feelings. And then we realize we're not built mentally to stay on as a decision, or we weren't even really decided to be in this thing. So when we say you're no longer happy, that's a whole different conversation as well, because it could be that the feeling of excitement has left the room. So now you think you're no longer
reality of the
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, where did it go?
Yeah.
Where is it not here? What are we doing here if the excitement is not here? You know what I mean? But we mistake that. Yeah, it's a decision. It's not just a feeling.
You choose. Yeah. And you choose. Wow, that's very deep. Because it's true. Majority of the people are stuck to that feeling. If you don't give me butterflies, where were you? You don't love me. Yeah. But someone said, when you feel those butterflies, you actually need to run. Because that is your body and your conscious telling you, in danger. Okay, that is what the relationship, right? Like, you should run because it's not.
I mean, I wouldn't say you would run because that's just normal. That's what people call chemistry.
Yeah.
The thing is, I like what he said. Love is a choice and an action at the same time.
Okay.
That feeling of falling in love is just a bunch of chemicals.
Okay.
It's a bunch of chemicals, actually.
Bunch of chemicals.
It's serotonin and dopamine.
Okay.
They're the ones that come and oxytocin also. You know, the bonding hormone.
Okay.
They're the ones that come and make you feel some type of way towards someone. So you release those hormones, he releases those hormones, and chemistry happens.
Okay.
But those hormones do not last forever. That's why you usually say some people fall out of love when the infatuation ends. That's the infatuation phase. The infatuation is just there to help you bond, to help you have chemistry together. But after that, there's what he said. You have to make a choice to stay. After you've come and you've evaluated, you have seen this guy has this kind of values. I have this kind of values. Are we compatible? Our values compatible? Our communication skills in sync? Do we communicate the same way? Do we meet on the same level? You know, and you go deeper into other things. The way he handles money, is it the same way that I handle money? Can we meet in the middle? Then you make a choice and say, fine, it's true. I have seen several red flags. We all have red flags. There's nobody who has a clean slate. The question is, which red flags can you live with and which ones can you not live with? You actually make a choice. Then after you make a choice, after you have evaluated, then now you work towards it.
All right.
Because most people usually think that relationships are just automatic. After you have made a choice, there's working towards it. Working on enhancing the communication. Working on building building your life together, being in sync. Yeah. So the infatuation phase is just there to cement the two of you. It lasts maybe between sometimes 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it can even last 1 year, where you're thinking you're really in love with this person, and then that's what traps people. You get married within that 1 year, and afterwards you realize, I made a mistake.
Exchange your mic. Can we just, there's a mic closer to you because yako kidogo imesema nini. Okay, please use that one. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying sometimes that infatuation phase is what trips people up. You find that there are people who have actually gotten into a serious relationship in the infatuation phase to the point of getting married, only to realize because of that infatuation phase, the masking of the chemicals, you never really got to evaluate if this person is your type. You know, if this person is really your person, are your values compatible? Are you in sync? And then now you've already made a commitment, like a marriage commitment, and you're thinking, that's when the question comes in, am I too selfish to want to walk out? But you've actually realized, I can't. I really can't. But you have already committed. So you find very many people are in situations that they never thought they would find themselves in, but they were led there mainly because of the infatuation phase, I would say.
Is that like a specific, because you're saying between, 3 to 6 months?
It can last up to 1 year.
But we see some people married after 3 months, and they are in long-term, marriages, and others get married after 8 years. Of being together, only to walk out after 6 months of being married. In marriage. So, I don't know, is there like a specific timeline, or it's different for different people? That's why I say it's confusing. I
think it's different for different people. But the thing is, again, and I always say this, I think I've sung this so many times when I come to this show. The thing about relationship is get to know yourself. Because the minute you know yourself, you actually know what you want and what you can't cope with. You know, sometimes we fall in love with falling in love. We fall in love with love. With the idea of love, and yet you don't realize that relationships are actually work. By the time, and she'll tell us, she's a marriage counselor, by the time you actually gel and actually work in rhythm together in tandem, it takes work. It takes work of being defensive, of fighting over silly things, realizing this person feels this. I mean, when you step on their toes, they react like this. When you push their buttons, they scream. You know, it takes time. But sometimes we don't want to put in that time, and we don't want to put in the work.
I think after the 6 months, really what they're saying is the decision now matters more. Now you have to choose consciously. Consciously. But you asked a very interesting question earlier, really, and maybe I'd just like to pose it to our panelists today. Do we see these things before or after, or are we switched up on uku katikati? Then you realize, because there's the face where I'm seeing all these beautiful things that I like, but then we also notice that there are things that you will run away from because you've already seen them. As I do a unicorn on them, you're already checking out. You know, so at that particular point, is that the right time to walk away and no guilt? Do we give them a chance? And then keep doing that until it's 7-8 years in, and we're still giving a chance. And this is open to anyone on the panel.
Well, I think of marriage counselor because, again, Esther, thinking about it, because like she said, marriage is different. You know, when we're dating, it's easy, right? You can easily walk away. But then again, so that question, do we see it early and just hope, well, you know?
Thank you. I think, we're saying marriages, love is different to each one of us. And people take marriages like it's just a relationship, which it is not. It is good that in our country, it is good that people have now learned to embrace premarital counseling. Because before you get married, you need to go through premarital counseling, because at that moment, you get to express yourself to someone that you don't know. You get to learn skills that you don't know about yourself. You get to become aware of who you are, like you said, an awareness. So when you go for therapy, you and your friend will go through that counseling session, and as an individual and as a team, the two of you, so that you get to understand what is it that I like that he doesn't like, What is it that, what are my values? What are his values? So that at that moment we learn about, do we want children or do we want children? How are we going to manage our finances? How are we going to communicate? How are we going to resolve our conflicts? So if you don't learn these skills early, then you'll get into you jump into marriage, and then you don't understand how you're going to handle yourselves as a couple. So utagudua when it's now 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, that's now when you start learning yourself after you've already gotten married. Because sometimes it even becomes impossible for married couples to consummate their marriage. So you wonder whether, why were we getting married if we cannot consummate our marriage? Yeah. So it's going to go for premarital counseling even before you get married. There's the spiritual one, and there's this the counseling, the psychological one. It's going to get to both. It's good, important.
I'm happy that you actually said that, because most people just go, Ilya church. That's it. and we're done. And also want you to chime in, CJ, onto that. But also, Mariam, you talked about work, putting in, the work. So what exactly does that look like? Because we have a personal development coach with us as well. So you help us understand then, how do we do that? First of all, how do I get to that point where I truly really know myself and what I can stand, what I can't, and all those? How do we get to that? But because we do not want to rush you into it, can we do that after the break? All right, so let's take a break. But remember the question that we're asking you today, which is...
The question is it selfish to leave a partner who still loves you, even if you're no longer happy? Is it selfish to leave a partner who still loves you, even if you're no longer happy? Talk to us on all our social media platforms. The tag is at NTV Kenya. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Your World. You're with me, Wikali, and of course the gorgeous, witty, left kutoka at the beginning, Winnie Lubembe.
Oh, that's me. I'm like, I was looking at the audience.
That's all you. That's all you with the audience.
Listen, today's Relationship Tuesday, and we're talking about matters mapenzi. And we just really want to understand, how do you recognize when a relationship has run its course, okay? And why do people stay? Because most of the times, nobody gets into a relationship thinking, this one, inajipatia 2 months, and then I'm out.
I wish it could be like that, though. Like,
contract.
Now you know.
We've got 2 months to put your acts together. If not, we are out. You know? So why do people stay? And first of all, how do you even know that this relationship has run its course? And how do you know when is the right time to actually walk away? So there's so many complexities. And that is why when we started the show, we said it's confusing, but at the same time, it's the reality that we're dealing with, today, in this day and age. But not today. Maybe at our grandfathers maybe could tell us. But we have a simple question for you this morning. And the question is it selfish to leave a partner who still loves you, even if you are no longer happy? Is it selfish? Is it not? At NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X is how you can reach us. I saw a comment here on X, and this person says, the moment, this is Henry Mwendwa, says, the moment your sixth sense repeatedly tells you that something is wrong, the earlier, the better.
Because the reason we're having these conversations is because there's a thing, there's a voice, there's something that keeps probing and asking and questioning, and then we choose to ignore it. But then before we even get to that, those are very important questions that you asked before the break.
Do we know? Do we see these things, CJ? And then Charlotte will come to then understand how do we get to that level. Unajijua, yaki mtu hawezi sema I know you better than you know yourself, because you know yourself and you know the things that you can compromise or not. But before that, do we see the signs earlier on in the relationship, and we overlook? Sometimes, kind of.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't.
Okay.
I love that two people have mentioned the issue of values, because when you come together, your decisions are based on your values. So how you're going to relate with other people, communicate, whether you will respect or not, how you will treat them is based on your value system. If your value system is not good, every other decision you will make will be a bit warped. And sometimes we don't look at these things at the beginning, like what shapes the beliefs of this person, and how do they view other people, how do they view themselves, how do they even view a relationship. You could have somebody who has nearly everything else fundamentally right, but their view of a relationship is very skewed, either because of their background, exposure, just hurts and things that they've gone through. So they may be coming into a relationship thinking that they're coming either to dominate, to manipulate, to use, to get something, or, you know, if I don't get what I want in 2 months, 2 weeks, I'm gone, because they don't look at it as a commitment. And we sometimes then, those are the kind of things that sometimes we overlook, because they will slip through the conversations. You will hear what somebody says, even when they don't mean to say it to you. Listen to what they say about somebody else's relationship, or what's happening, what's trending. Look at their comments, listen to their jokes. That's something we normally ignore a lot. Listen to what they make fun of, or the things that they would laugh about.
Subtle things they say.
The subliminals. So we overlook that and think, well, this person is just joking, but sometimes they are not when it is consistently coming. That's what they actually do believe. But the part that I say sometimes you don't see it at the onset is because we are also changing beings. Your priorities, your likes and dislikes are changing, and whom you are at 40 may be different from whom you were at 30. Having been exposed to different environments, situations, people having gone through different things, like probably the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, losing money and investment, facing adversity, or just growing, they may be a very different person from the one that you met, and they begin to now express certain things that are against what you believed in when you came in. So you have to constantly be watching out for whom the person is becoming, and whether they're still in tandem with what you want. Because I believe that for a relationship to stand, it must be built around a particular purpose, a common vision, certain values. So if when we are getting to 10 years, 7 years, 6, 15 years, one is deviating from that, a conversation needs to be had over whether this is something that can be changed, or we have changed the script completely, altogether. Maybe they want something completely different, which is different from what we negotiated at the very beginning. So you have to constantly be keeping in check with the other person to see whether you're growing together or growing apart.
Oh, I see. Interesting. And if you notice these things at the beginning, do you voice them? Do you not? Because you see, there's that a bit of a gray area, because yes, you want to impress this person, you want to show them that you're
also
in it,
grace.
but you're also
like,
so do you?
They're gonna be okay.
It's just but yes. Charlotte.
Yes.
How do we get to that level of self-awareness to the core that you're able to pick some of those things, early on?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I think what CJ has been talking about makes a lot of sense. Number one, for you to get to that point where you're self-aware, so to speak, I think, first of all, as he has said, he's talked about personal values. You know exactly what you want in a relationship. People get into relationships for different reasons. People get into a relationship, to catch cruise, as the Gen Zs call it. People get into relationships to catch cruise, to just have fun, Maybe floating. Catching cruise. Yes. Wow. And others get into a relationship, to get through a certain phase of their life, maybe to heal from a previous heartbreak, or maybe to learn something, or maybe even to eventually get married. So I always say, before you get into a relationship, first of all, ask yourself this question. What am I looking at? What am I looking for from this person? Okay, do I want to settle down with this person? Do I want to to just spend some good time with this person? Okay, and then what is it that ticks in your checklist? What is it that you can take and you cannot take? What are your triggers? What are the things that makes you happy? What are the things that keeps you motivated, will keep you motivated in a relationship? And I always define a relationship as a career. If you land yourself in a career
career that does not motivate you in any way, or a career that does not, you know, give you that push, then you're doomed, I think, for life. So get to know yourself, and before you even take it a step further with your partner, also get to know your partner. What are also their triggers? What do they want from this relationship? Do you just want to also, you know, just be there for the sake of it? And I think if we do these background checks, then it becomes a lot easier. And I always say, most of the time we get into relationships for all the wrong reasons, okay? You get into a relationship because you feel bored, you know, because you want someone, you know, who is always there for you when you want to go, you know, explore new restaurants, hidden gems, as the Gen Zs call it. You know, you just want someone to match outfits with, you know, and it's okay to want that, but make it clear, you know, from the onset that this is what I want. And some of these things that we are looking for sometimes, we can even get them from friends. We can get them from family. If you feel bored, you know, go visit your friends, go visit your family, have a conversation with your friends, have coffee dates with your friends, you know. So I think once we define these things a step after another, then I think we will be in a better place. So it starts by yourself. Do a checklist. What ticks in my box? What can I take? What can I not take? And then also do a background check on your partner, okay? And then when the compatibility is there, then do it.
Okay. I think that's the work that we need to do before, that we need to work on self, so that you know what, because I mean, whatever else that comes your way, if you do not do the work, then is acceptable.
You know what? And it's very interesting, because earlier on this morning, we were listening to, again, still a conversation on, you know, relationship, understanding the dynamics. So power was something that came out very well, like power dynamics. If I, not surrender, not submit, you know, if I let myself go, I feel like you have all the power, and you know, so I give you all the power and then I don't have none. So there's that, you know, pushback. But also something else that came up was, what are you fighting for?
In that relationship,
in that relationship, what are you fighting for? So before we even talk about all those things, we have an audience, and also you guys, because okay, Mulifika to that point of being an expert in this relationship matters. But before then, did you have like some mistakes? I want to know. But before you guys, anybody who wants to share, did you walk away? Did you not? Were you in a position where you're like,
able to even see?
Yes, you know, these red flags, only some ongea sana.
When you're 6
wow. Or if you have a question, again, by all means, feel free to throw them to our panelists this morning. But you can start with your name.
My name is Faith Zimbi, and let me just embark on
go.
My name is Faith, and let me just embark on what she said.
Let's give you another mic.
Okay, as we sort this one. Yeah, it's on. It's already on, I think. Yes.
As I've said, my name is Faith, and let me just embark on what she said. Sometimes we fail in these relationships because we don't understand what we want. Before you get into a relationship, I feel it's good I make the decision of...
Can we switch your mic again?
All right. Sorry.
From the top.
As I have said, my name is Faith for the time. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, let me just embark on what she said. Sometimes we fail because we don't understand what we want. Like, it's good to understand what I want in a relationship. Am I there for a reason? Am I there for a season? Am I there permanent? This one will give me go ahead of the kind of partner that I want to have in my life.
Okay.
And when I evaluate the kind of relation that I want to have, it will give me like the tips of now I will enter in that relationship. And sometimes we meet people and we're like, this is someone that I want to have in my life. But again, there is something that you said, instinct. There is a book that I read known as 5 Seconds Rule. It says that your internal instinct, it's your wisdom. The moment they tell you run, Morife, please do.
Morife, please run. Okay.
Please do. Yeah. Because you see, there's something that is within you. It has already given you a signal of this is not a good path.
Exactly
towards it. There is a reaction. You get?
Okay.
So if you're in this relationship for a reason and you feel like there is nothing that I'm getting out of it, kindly don't allow that attachment. You get? Just move.
Just walk away.
Don't hurt someone else because you're there for a reason.
Oh,
And it's good to make your partner understand, I'm here for a reason.
Okay.
I'm not here to stay.
Okay.
I'm here because I want you to help me, step to another level of life. Like, you're my stepping stone
Into
of my
this.
life.
So it's up to them to choose if they want it
to the hidden
or not.
gems. Yes.
So they choose. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
I think
That's fair. Yes.
If-
Communicate earlier on. All right. We have another mic, so just pass it on to whoever wants to go. Oh yeah, he wants. And also, if you wanna, because we were talking about. I mean, yeah. But also remember, what you talked about, the checklist, the things that matter to you as an individual. And I am nosy. I can't help it. I am sorry. I just want to know, what are the important things in a relationship that mtu asipo nini?
Asipo check your list yako inakaa.
No. Yes, but he wanted to speak. Go ahead. Do you have the mic? Yes.
I'm Bosco Boss. Then, for my understanding, you say I didn't live in the past. I'm Gen Z. So, my dad and mom told me that in the past, kulikuwa na aunties, at least walikuwa napeana guidelines on relationship na mambo na marriage. But for us now, like kama Gen Zs, sisi tunalan na maisha venye huku tunaendelea kuishi. Like now, a driver mwenye anaenda kwa driving school, anaenda apati yule driver mwenye anamsaidia, this is how to drive. So anapewa gari, anaenda mahali atagongesha ni sawa, hata angalia kama kuna check engine, kama kuna nini. So the moment atajua kuendesha, is the moment atabaki na hiyo gari. It's like marriage. For us, we don't have the guidelines venye in the past ilikuwa.
Okay.
Yeah. How I wish now this show, it will help us to learn more.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing that you're here. Leo utatoka na points.
That is so sweet. That is so
All right,
sweet.
go ahead.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Okay, I'm Nadine, a model and a content creator. So mmesema like ukiwa na mtu like kama anakupea kitu yenye anataka unakaa na yeye. So kama akupei unaenda kwa mwingine. So how long utaendelea ukishinda, like si utaendelea ukiongezea. So how will you do
Miriam, I think I can answer.
I love Nadine's question.
Yeah.
I really love it. CJ said something very important, that the purpose of the relationship, purpose. So the way we are saying that if you go to someone and if you're not getting what you're getting from them, you move on. I think we're defining transactions, business transactions, not relationships.
Okay.
I like what she said, that put yourself on the table. But at the end of the day, we should not make relationships so transactional to the point that human beings don't matter.
Okay.
You know, we're almost making it look like a human person does not matter. But when God puts humans together, he knew what he was doing. Sometimes you may think that you're okay alone and you can survive alone, but to be honest, you actually sometimes feel like you need that companionship, and that companionship actually comes to help you become a better person, strengthen you. Iron sharpens iron. Sometimes you actually need someone to come and bring friction into your life for you to realize I'm not a great person. I'm actually a very mean person. It takes another person to show you that. You know, there's a saying in Kiswahili, nyani haoni. Exactly. So sometimes you don't see your own mistakes. It takes another person to sharpen you, to make you a better person. So I would say, let's not be too fast to make relationships transactional. And I think that's the problem that we are having right now. People are getting into contracts, not covenants. Contracts. You know, if my contract is 3 months, then fine, 3 months. You know, and that's why I think I like what Charlotte said. Know yourself. If you're the contract kind of person, then stick to the contract, but let your partner know you're a contract. Because your partner may come in looking for a covenant, a lifetime, and you're giving contract. Then you realize you know, we're asking ourselves, how come it's so hard to leave a relationship? The investment you've put in.
Yeah.
You came in looking for a contract, but you realize I've put in so much investment, I don't think I can let this person go, even if you're making each other miserable, even if you know that you're not compatible.
Yeah.
And the thought of starting over is another thing that keeps people there. Now, I have known this person. Nimemuosha akaosheka. Nikampolish pia ata sasa ana glow.
Yes.
Then now I leave him for another person to come and enjoy my food. Like how? And then I have to go and wash another person. You know? So the investment is what keeps you there sometimes. And you know, you have to invest for a relationship to work. Even the next relationship you go to, you will have to invest.
But is it worth it though? And I think that is the question that we're asking in terms of what are you fighting for? Yeah, at the expense of your mental health, at the expense of sometimes your physical, you know?
Charlotte is burning with something.
I think relationships are transactional. To some extent. Yes, because each and every person has their unique things that they bring into relationships, and every relationship is unique in its own way. There are people that bring the, you know, the financial muscles into it because it is needed. There are people that bring in their time. There are people that bring in their wits, their wisdom. There are people that bring in their time. You understand? And looking at it in detail, it is transactional. That is why many relationships fail, because we do not want to talk about these things. Do you understand?
That it's transactional.
It is transactional because if I'm giving you love and care, because love is that deep feeling of care. If I'm giving that to you, I want you to give back. You understand? If I'm giving you my time, you can't be so busy that you cannot provide time for me when I need it. You know, if maybe I love a certain, you know, materialistic things, then you have to provide them for me. You understand? Even though I can also provide them for myself, but we should not run away from these things. Relationships are transactional. Even marriages are transactional. You get into a marriage, you know, it's like a business partnership. You have to invest together, plan about investing together, bringing up kids, and then you start talking about finances. This is what I'll be doing at a certain point in life. This is how we will be paying the kids' school fees. This is what I expect you, you know, to bring on the table. This is what I will bring on the table. It is transactional. Let us not run away from these things. This is really reality, and the day we will sit down and be comfortable talking about love and relationships being transactional, I think we will now be hitting on the right direction.
All right. I'm curious.
I'm curious because when she mentioned marriage, and it's just like, so even to that point, because I think the difference is how you walk in. Do you know these things? Am I walking in saying, nipe hi na mimi nikupe hi? Ama do we develop these things as we go? And Esther, maybe you can chime in on this because it's important.
Thank you very much. While she was talking, I was trying to understand between marriage being transactional and marriage being a covenant, because marriage is a blessed sacrament by God. It's very blessed. So if you make it transactional, then it becomes like a if I don't receive, then we add it. But marriage can be, yes, I'll receive and give. But if it becomes too transactional, are we talking about monetary or what kind of transactions?
Either.
That's my that's my
all round.
That's my question. Is it transaction monetarily, or is it what kind of transactions?
Energy, money.
Yes. Yeah. We need to understand all this. Yeah. So before we get into marriage, before we call it before we said yes, now we can live together, it's good to understand, like we said, values and goals. What are my goals in marriage? What are my values in marriage? When I'm getting married to this person, what is my focus? Do I want to change? Am I getting into this relationship because I think if I got married to a person who is into alcoholism, and maybe I don't believe in alcoholism, do I think that I'm going to change this person? Do I think that, okay, fine, tukipatana pamoja, we will talk and we discuss how much I don't like this type of alcoholism, and I'm going to change this person, or I expect this person to behave like my dad. I'm a woman, so I expect my husband now to behave like my dad, or I expect my wife to behave like my mom. So am I marrying my mom, or am I marrying my husband, my dad? Who am I getting married to? Then I think it is going to be clear that getting into marriage, you're getting also to a person that you really don't know. Whether you got into that family, that counseling and what have you, you don't know this person. After going through that therapy, you need to understand this person. We are from different backgrounds. I was brought up in a Christian background, from a Christian background. Maybe my husband was brought up from a place where they never used to pray. So when I go there, when we get together, how are we going to live together as a husband and wife? What are our increments? So we need to sit down and set up even our disciplines, habits, and what have you. But then you might find at some point you might not be able to stick. But why is it that I cannot live and I still don't want to stick? Why am I confused? Why is that confusion? Because there's some fear. I'm afraid of the uncertainty. Maybe we haven't gotten into that. I'm afraid of what is going to happen to me after I leave. I'm already attached to this person. There's this person, I'm already attached to them. I'm already attached to the sofa set that we bought together. So I don't want to leave. And there's also the society. What do they think of a woman who leaves? Maybe that woman is not a straightforward woman. That's a wicked woman. So I stick because of the society. Such kind of things will make us stick.
It's very interesting that you bring that up, because now I think we've set the stage for the question today.
Yes.
So now we've already gotten in. Whether it's transactional, whether it is love, whatever it is, we are in, we love them. How do we realize? What are the signs of that? It's done, man. It's run its course. It's over with the sofa set that I'm attached to and everything else. I need to exit. How do I do that? How do I see all of those things and be able to exit? And we're going to pick that up from after the break. But we have a question for you today. And the question, Winnie, do you have it?
Let me tell you the question. Is it selfish?
Yes.
Is it selfish to leave a partner who still loves you, even if you are no longer happy? Even this person gives you everything, the butterflies and everything on top. Like in the way you're not happy.
You're done.
Is it selfish for you to just leave this guy or this girl, okay, and find happiness maybe somewhere else? But she asked, Wangapi? Wangapi? Well, we'll also be going through your comments after the break. Just stay with us. The show is your one. Like someone actually said, Kamechemka. All right, so see you after the break.
Kiswahili. Now, these ones cannot be kept.
It takes a bit more. It takes a bit more. So what do we take then? How do we find a balance in all of that? Oh my days!
They usually say it's not.
Turn your microphone. We're already back.
They usually say it's not what you can do that will keep a man.
Yes.
If there's someone who can cook, there's someone who can cook better than you, Charlotte. There's someone who is prettier than you.
Yeah.
The question is, what is it that you bring to the table for this man or for this woman in a relationship that they cannot get anywhere? You know? And the thing is,
that is not what men are looking for. What are they looking for? Let me, sorry to cut you short. Okay? What I'm trying to say is, it's not about how flavorful your food is. It's not about how beautiful you are, how intelligent you are, how whatever. They don't look at these things. If that was it, then people could pretend even for a year, for 2 years, for for all this while. You can never, there's no manual that you can ever find on how to keep a man. A man or a woman that does not want to be kept, never be kept. It's about, as CJ said, it's about personal values, you understand? So it's not about all these things.
What is it about?
I know what I bring on the table. I bring intelligence, apart from beauty. I bring a positive. Not all women can cook. So it is an achievement. And it's not that. And I don't cook all the time. I cook when I want to. Because I don't have to be sweaty in the kitchen all the time and you're there. You understand? It's something that I do when I want to and when I feel like doing it, okay? So I know what I bring on the table. I'm a very good leader. I'm a very good manager. I know how to manage businesses. I've managed my personal businesses. I have done a lot of things for myself. So these things are there. We are doing them. People are doing them. So you can never... Have you never broken up with someone? You have. Does it mean you're less of a woman?
No. It's not even about that. You've said all those things, Charlotte.
Yes.
Why haven't you kept him?
Exactly. What is the I just take this CJ. We have a man here. CJ, please.
Let me just, there is what you bring, and then there's what the other person needs. And sometimes I may bring everything. But that may not be what you need.
Exactly.
I may look at myself as intelligent. I may look at myself as articulate. I may look at all of that. But in a relationship setting, that may not be what you need.
The person needs.
And a woman can walk out on a man that people are wondering, why did she walk away from this man? Yeah. Because what the man brought was probably whom he is in the marketplace or elsewhere, but he did not bring a man into this relationship.
That the woman, exactly.
Because relationships are at the very basic level. A man and a woman. Not a pilot, not a doctor, not a nurse, not a what. It is at the very basic level where you look at the other person as a human being and you connect at that basic level. Then all the other things become addition. So sometimes we get frustrated because we have worked so hard on ourselves on the outward and other spaces, and we think if I talk to any woman, she will come because I'll provide a house, I can provide money, I provide this, but she comes in and she realizes I don't provide myself. So I've given her everything else apart from myself, and I may be driving with her, but she doesn't feel the emotional presence, connection, she doesn't feel the attention, and she will walk and go to somebody else who doesn't seem to have all of this stuff because the person brought what she need, which was the person.
Presence.
Right.
I agree.
Absolutely. At least we are calmer now. We're seeing, we're going, it's like, what does it need? But then again, in that situation, is there like a universal or like a global sign that it truly is over before it is said that it's over? What are some of the telltale signs of we were okay, nimefanya hivi vitu vyote, you've done all of that, but then what are some of the things that I need to look out for to just know either being the partner that is now done or the partner who's not done, still in love, but I'm not getting the same kind of maybe chemistry or attention that I was getting before?
Can I answer?
Yes.
I don't think there's something global that we can say is there.
Yeah.
A relationship is unique to the two people.
Okay.
And it's the two people who will know when it's over. But I would say between the two people, how they would know the relationship is over if there's no goodwill. The minute goodwill is out, goodwill is you stop respecting one another, you stop trusting one another, you stop just being good to one another. You know, just that basic goodness where you know that a person is coming home at 11, but you lock the door and they have no key.
No goodwill.
There's no goodwill there. There is no goodness. So the minute you realize that you've actually just stopped respecting each other on the core reason that you're human beings, then that relationship is over. Because if it's communication, you can go for conferences or workshops to learn how to communicate. If it's how to cook, we can learn how to cook. If it's to how to be a great leader at home, how to be more religious, you can go to church and learn that. But if the shred of your humanity for this person dies, for both of you, there's nothing that can be done to salvage that relationship. Because there's no respect.
There's no goodwill.
Because I was going to ask, so then how do you know a relationship is salvageable? Okay, because we'll go through turmoils, okay, ups, downs, misunderstandings, fights here and there, and all those things. And sometimes people say, "Well, it's over," and walk away. And yet, this relationship is salvageable. And others would choose to stay in a relationship that atters you when they go it can't. Okay, so then how do you know, CJ?
I think when somebody is willing to work through the relationship, it could be salvageable. And that comes with admitting, first of all, acknowledging that there's a problem in the relationship and owning up for whatever role you have played to get it there. Because what many people do is that they will blame the other person for whatever they are feeling. No matter how bad it gets, even when I feel I need to leave, there is something that I've also done to get it there. And if we get a diagnosis, how did we get here? Was it our communication that failed? Was it money issues? Was it our values? Is it other people who came in? Was it our families that got in here? Was somebody feeling disrespected? So how did I enable this thing to get to the place that it is at? I may not have planted the seeds, but did I fertilize? Did I water?
Because it's easy to blame.
It's easy to blame the other person. And even if I am the offended, is there a way I could have handled it differently? Could it be that I either blew it up or mishandled it? I was in a particular season. So you've got to own it. You first acknowledge there's a problem, then you own it as well, your part. Then you have to ask yourself, is there something in that relationship that you'd still want to keep? You've got to look at this. Do you want to keep, maybe it's just a friendship. Maybe you don't mind losing the money, but you value that friendship. Is there something that is still working in there that is fundamental to you? And it could be that as much as you're having issues over money, you guys are still friends. You send each other memes, you know, you send each other reels.
Like the new love language. That's where it's at.
Maybe that's the first person you think about when you have something crazy to talk about. But you know, if you start talking about money, you will disagree. So you have to isolate the problem so that you're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
That's true.
Then ask yourself, now this situation that we have, can it be dealt with? Because people go to hospital to get a tumor gotten off. They go to hospital to get sometimes even amputated. You don't kill the person just because a part of the body is sick. You have to run the tests and find out how far is this disease spread? What interventions do we need? Is it medicine? Is it surgery? Do they need physiotherapy somewhere else? Is it a psychosomatic thing that they just need some psychologists to deal with them? If we handled relationship like now, you know, Charlotte has talked about the business side so much, so let's handle it more like a body.
Yes.
How would you handle your body? If your tooth is aching, you deal with your tooth. You don't cut off your neck. We are very reactive and overreactive. Find whether the thing that you're dealing with can be solved. Because if I have a toothache, I probably will have a headache. But if I sorted the tooth, my headache will go. So it may be that all these other issues we are having, if we find the root, we can salvage the relationship. But the problem, again, is because we are very emotional around these things, sometimes we don't want to see that there is something that we can salvage. And that's why I think that, you know, seeking help as well before you make the decision. Seeking help from your parents, from your friends, from your religious leaders, from a therapist, just to get perspective. Not necessarily that they'll give you advice, but perspective. Maybe I may be the problem, and yet I want to walk away.
Oh, I see. I see. But sometimes, Rabonga, do not involve your family in your domains, because they'll come and tell you what you want to hear.
You can't go to everybody. You need somebody who's objective. You can't just be putting your stuff to everybody out there. You need somebody who's a bit objective, who will give you perspective, but then they let you make the decision.
They don't hold. You look like you have something to say.
I would say I like what he's really said, but that would only work if both of you want the relationship to work.
You have to want it.
Because one person, like the question is asking, one person might actually want it to work so much. For you, it's not over. You really do see that there's still a spark that can be ignited and the fire will come. But the other person is long done. Like they have no... Again, I say goodwill for the relationship at all. So you might go to your parents, you might even go for counseling. I'm a counselor myself, I'm a marriage counselor. People have come for counseling, and you can actually see that one partner is so devoted to that counseling. They really want the relationship to work, but the other person checked out of the door a long time ago. And no matter what this other one does, no matter the homework you give them to go to do together as a couple, the other one will only show up 10%. So it's like a bird flying with one wing. They can't make it. It must take two. They must both want the relationship to work, then only then can it work. When they come for counseling, they put in the work together, 100% work together, it works. They go talk to their parents, they're willing to listen to what they have to say, it works. It takes two.
Yeah. So there's being stuck, and there's being loyal, then there's wanting to check out, there's outgrowing all of that. There's a lot of terminology that's being thrown out there, but I'd just like to involve our audience, and we have a question right behind you. Let's give her a mic.
Yes. She's
you
mic.
mic. Okay.
Emma, all of a brain business, and the question was, at what point do you take your book of I don't want this, I will not take this? Because it happened last year, end of last year, where we were having a good conversation with
kindly
let's use
the mic.
The other one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So we were trying something, getting into a relationship with someone, and that person I think 4 or 5 times mentioned that he was walking, and I'm like, where are you walking? Me, I can't walk because I want to add weight, and that the word weight added contributed to a conversation of he doesn't want. He wants me like this. He doesn't want me to add weight. I'm like, I want to add weight. Who are you to tell me that? And that one brought a lot of arguments that led to my brain saying that I can't do it. And I told him, it's not possible. I can't do it. I have friends who are big, so if you don't like them, he said he finds big girls not loving themselves, like ujipendi. So my mom is not even thin. My mom, like, she's a big baby, and I have friends who are big babies. So I will not take someone who has that negativity, because I don't want to have kids and feel insecure that, you know, he will tell them, do this, go to gym. And that was my brain. But now my heart was like, oh God, this one again I have to let go. And the question is, what point do you do the don'ts? Because that was, I think, 1 month in that relationship. So at what point do you remove that book of, I will not take this, I will not tolerate this, I will not do this?
Nema, iliisha ama uko? Ndio tukijibu hii swali tuwe tunachukua. Iliisha hiyo. Okay, over to the panelists.
Charlotte seemed like she has
another question as well. So do we get another question, or do we?
Get another question.
Okay, there's a question here. Yes, Saidina, microphone. Okay. You can start with your name.
Hi, my name is Mary Snyder. I have a question. Is it bad to say that both of you need to sit down and have a common conversation, have a common grounds, have a common standards, and if from the word go it doesn't work, then you decide from...
If your values don't align from the onset when you're having this common conversation. Okay.
You decide from that point, it's now...
Tusiendelee,
wacha tuishe hapo, tusiumizane roho bure.
All right.
Or is it wrong to say that you need to have that common conversation and ground and bring up what you need, what I need, what the other person needs? We discuss from that point, what do you need specifically? What can I provide? What can I provide? Or what can I be and what can I be?
Okay.
Someone take a mental note and then you'll answer that. We also have another question here. Okay. Do you have a question?
Mine is more like a contribution.
Okay. Sawa. Let's ask the question and then...
Hello, I'm Selena.
Hi, Selena.
And my question is, people don't tend to discuss when to have sex.
Right.
Like, you've fallen in love with someone, you don't know the right time to do it. Like, I'm in love with person A, and when can I offer myself to that person?
To that person. Why? Okay. You want to take her?
I want to go into her.
All right, go. Straight on. Okay, go.
I think we have to undo this perception that when it comes to intimacy, women are the offering. Because what happens is, whenever they do that, they expect a certain kind of treatment, because they've been wired to feel that this is such a high price they have set aside and given. They do not see it as a relationship. Both people are having both same feelings over that. So It is not something you bring. And we've done a bad job in that, where we have taught the girls, keep yourself and give yourself.
Offer self.
Yet, we've not done the same thing with the man. So it's the woman then that thinks she's offering something, and this is where now Charlotte will tell you, I've cooked a lot, because she thinks, once I've given this, then you should treat me in a certain way or look at me in a certain way because I've given you my highest prize. You're not bringing an offering, or you're not offering yourself. I just needed to discard that first. So.
Okay. All right. You had a contribution before they answer the question?
Yeah. Mrembo mcheshi Kanan Catherine here.
Okay.
Kumechemka leo nakwambia. Okay, now talking about at what point do you realize now enough, like enough, it's enough. You realize most of the times we enter into a relationship and we do not define. It's not clearly defined, like what do I want, like, or maybe me, I know what I want, and I want as me and the guy to know what we want and how we want to do it, but now he's not even responsive. He does not want to talk about it. It's me who is on it, like a one-man show. So it reaches a point where we have continued, like I have tried all I can. I have done all. I have noticed his behaviors, and but I'm still there, hoping that it's going to work. You know, they are called red flags, but at the beginning we do not see them as red flags. They are in other colors. We see blues, flags, green, like they are not red. So at a time we have that hope. We want to keep this relationship. I have some hope in me that maybe this person is meant for me. This is the guy who is destined for my future. This is the guy that I'm going to end up with. So the thoughts of maybe this guy is cheating on me, or maybe he's doing some things, it will not come to me that time. I will even blame the devil. When that thought comes to me, that is a lie from the enemy, and I bite it. Like I bite. So I don't want to keep it. I don't want to keep it in my mind that that this guy is doing something. Maybe when he says he's busy, he's not responding to my calls, to my text messages. Like I do not want to believe that he's doing something else apart from what he's saying. I am saying maybe he's busy, as he's saying. Maybe he will get available. God, I pray that at his workplace things will work and he will be available. You see, me, I don't want those flags to be red. I have done all I can to make it work. But it reaches a point, I'm like, no. I now start seeing the red. That is now when I realize that now I'm on my own. And now, honestly speaking, it reaches a point where you are totally drained. You cannot even think of making another step forward. And you just have to like remove this person from your mind slowly by slowly, because as much as you are trying to keep this, you are the one who is getting affected. The guy is having his own life. Just
we don't get to experience.
Yes, I want to say something, and I think in my conversation I'll try tackle the two questions from the beautiful ladies seated behind me. So now I always say everyone wants a good home. There's no one who will ever step out of a good home. People put in work. People go for these therapies. So yes, conversations are normally hard before breakups. It's normally a lot of things that are going on in relationships that sometimes we cannot understand. You understand? Sijui ni shetani ama ni nini. But what I have to say is this. The Bible says, gives us one very simple instruction that men love your wives, and wives submit to your husbands. So when do we get to a point where we recognize that this is the end of a relationship? For me, if my feminine prowess escapes the space, then I think it is a done deal. Because for you to have pushed me to a point whereby you do not make it easy for me to respect you, then I think that is a done and gone deal. So, and how do we get to this point? You get to this point whereby you've met your partner, you've had, you know, the initial conversation, you're getting into this relationship because of A or B, or because you're compatible, or because you have a common goal together, and then all through the relationship, maybe things happen, you have a conversation, maybe you see a therapist, and these are things that have happened to me personally, okay? And then now you're pushed to a point where you've done all these other things, and then now I start talking back at you. I start losing that respect.
Yeah.
And I think as a man, once you also see that that respect is not there from me, then just know from your point that it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Again, for me to also get to that point, what triggered that? I could have felt that you're not loving me the way I want to be loved. Okay, because for them, they're supposed to love. I'm supposed to respect and submit. You understand? So when I feel that the love is not, and that's why I'm saying it is transactional, because the Bible has set that ground for transaction. You love, let her respect and submit. You understand? So I think, so I think to me that is the no-go back point for me. When I no longer respect you, you know, I can talk back at you. The respect is gone. That means I do not feel the love, and that relationship is as good as dead.
I see. Where can we take a break and then we'll come back from Lazima tulipe bills. Transactional. We have to transact. I have to justify. Right here. Justify. My group question that we're asking you today again is it selfish for you to walk away out of a relationship even though your partner still loves you, but you're not happy? Okay. Is it selfish or is it not? We'll also go through your feedback after the break. Just stay with us. The show is your world. It's hot. It's hot. Yeah, it's very hot. See you after the break. Okay.
We're back. We're back. The show is continuing. I don't think we don't have a break. We don't have a break in here. Oh my God. Where?
It's a lot.
This is your world. Yes. This is your world. And we have a caller?
Yes, we have a caller on the line. Emily from Meru. Good morning.
Good morning, Winnie.
Thank you so much for calling us. How are you? How are you doing this morning?
Okay, I'm doing good.
All right. Thank you so much for calling us. Yes.
I think mine is a case that happened sometime back, maybe 1 month ago. Yeah. And I learned that this relationship was coming to an end when the guy started accusing me of having taken money in his house.
Okay.
So he had some money in the house, maybe around 700,000. And so when he came in the evening, he started saying that I've taken his money. But what I realized is that when I carried his bag out, I realized that there were some documents in that bag. It is like another baby drama somewhere. So I was planning to ask, and I felt that he had sensed that I had known the truth that he has been hiding from me. And so that's when he started accusing me of having taken the money. So I did an honorary thing and I told him, let us go and report to the police that your money is missing. And he refused. I was under a prime suspect of having taken the money. So I just went to the house. I was home. But later on, I think Kama is starting up with the guy because I can't tell without him talking to me. But through the messages that I sent him to know these messages, I don't want anything to do with him because it was better for him to say anything else but not to accuse me of having stolen money. Yes, we have been in good terms. I've never taken that money. I've been in the house for like a month. That money was there. And I was asking him, how can I take the money? Then I come back to the same house. So I feel when some false accusations also start, that is a red alert that the relationship is coming to an end.
Okay.
That's my take.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, and Paula for the deal. And thank you so much for sharing with us. All right. We also have another caller on the line. Sharon from Mombasa. Good morning. Oh no, did we lose her? Sharon? Sharon, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. Good to hear from you. Do you have a question or a comment?
I wanted to contribute some things in this conversation.
All right, go ahead.
And I will first start with about, there's a leader there who talked about what she brings in the table. And she said like that she could come with intelligence, management, and leadership. Beauty. And I will want to say that in any relationship, once you come with that mentality, that ego, and it won't contribute anything in the relationship, because at the end of the day, kama mashindano. One thing we have to understand, despite that we are in this world of today, at the end of the day, man is still the head of the house. So there are things we cannot bring in any relationship without acknowledging man as the head, despite anything. Second thing, I think is in any relationship, either in marriage or in courting, friendship is the key to any relationship. Once you are a friend to the person you are dating, it is easier for easy communication, because at the end of the day, despite whatever we say, if we cannot have communication, nothing is going to work. We have to speak everything and about anything and about all things. So friendship should be in any relationship. It will be easier even to tackle some issues. Then there are things like we say we are coming in a relationship with, we are different people brought up in different backgrounds. We have different experiences. So when we come to this understanding, first of all, this is to bring about the self-awareness. Self-awareness begins with a personality, the real you, who you are, what you like. What can you say? Like there is nobody who knows about you. It is you who knows you, and you can never lie to anyone about you. The only person who knows more about you is you and your God. So there are things you know that you like or you don't like. Then we must be realistic enough to understand that despite what we like, we might meet people who we are trying to be compatible with, who are even a vice versa with what we like. We have to be in a level of life to understand that we can cope with other people despite that we don't like what they want from us, or what we don't like. So there are sacrifices in relationships. There are things you just feel like I don't like this thing in this person. But as CJ said, is it something that you can be compatible in just value? Just is this thing crucial? Is this thing that I can cope with it? So you try to understand. There are things that you can cooperate. Like I remember we were used to be taught like by our parents. Umeolewa na mtu na anangorota usiku. You know, those are issues that you see, you cannot leave a relationship because somebody is snoring.
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, sometimes they snore so bad. I just say, but thank you so much. Thank you, Sharon. Let's pick another call. We have Josephine from Nairobi. Good morning. Josephine, can you hear us? All right, Josephine, are you there? Okay, as we sort her out. Listen, mtu anaweza snow ushindwe kulala. You know how they said sleep is important.
Kila kitu yoyote ni perfect. Ana snow.
Namfungia nini?
You want to respond? Okay. Yeah. Tell you can respond.
Yes. Sorry. But we have Josephine on the line. So we'll speak to her and then. Okay, Josephine, you're back. Thank you so much for calling us. Can you hear us?
Okay, we are
okay, good.
Mine has not been a relationship, has been a marriage.
All right. Hello. Yes.
Mine has not been a relationship, but we have been in a marriage for 2017.
Okay.
Now it's 2025.
Yeah.
We have a daughter for 6 years, and I have a son 7 months. Me, this marriage has been abusive. This girl has been
Josephine, we're struggling. Just when you're struggling to hear you, maybe you can just call us back with a clearer line.
Yeah.
Then we probably, if you tap the network maliko, and then alafu to call back. Chantel, please.
Yes, Charlotte.
Charlotte, sorry.
Yes, Sharon from Mombasa has raised very important issues, and I agree 100% with her. She has mentioned that when I said and talked about the things that I bring on the table, that when you get into a relationship with that kind of a mentality, then you appear to be, egocentric, so to say. And I agree with her, but she missed the context of that particular conversation. Mariam here, my namesake, asked about, what I bring on the table. And there's been a perception out here that a particular kind of girls, for example, if you look a certain way, that there is nothing that you can offer except your beauty and your gorgeousness and your slay queenness and all these things. So I was just trying to, build a conversation and say, there are a lot of things that I can actually bring on the table. And among them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Sharon has said that, getting into a relationship, friendship matters. And I agree. You have to get into a relationship, just be selfless and forget about all other things sometimes. You understand? And I agree totally with her. But I'm not saying that, that I will get into a relationship, being, boastful and saying, this is what I'm offering. It's not a job I am applying for, okay? But it is important as a woman to know your worth, and so that kwa kicheza kidogo unamkumbusha namwambia, by the way, that is just on a lighter note.
But also, but really, to be fair, that is what people ask now.
Yes,
that
exactly.
To the table.
And
so
that's
really,
what I've been saying. People fear to talk about these things. People pretend. People hide behind the curtains. People want to play holier than thou. The pick-me's. No, I will not be that. I will find my right man who will understand me the way I am. You understand?
You had something to say before we went on a break, yeah? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Aguvasu Moses, and I really wanted to contribute and at the tail end maybe ask a question.
Okay.
One, a relationship from the biblical point of view, right away from the time of Adam and Eve, when they lost the presence of God. Fundamentally, the end of a relationship between God and Adam was that trust. He lost the trust because at the end of eating the forbidden fruit from the tree of good and bad. And when God came in the evening seeking for the conversation, seeking for the communication, and I'm very glad that today CJ and the panelists have talked about communication. So when God realized there was breakdown in communication, and Adam and Eve were in hiding mode, they were in a fear mode. And so to speak, the fundamental thing that you have to realize, and which God realized that was the cause of the end of the relationship, was blame games. Because when Adam was asked, where are you? Instead of just answering, he went blaming God. Now it is this woman that you gave me. So God now realizing that, oh, I thought you needed a companion. Now it's me, yes. He owned the problem. Oh, so now going forward, now you'll have to do this, I think now we have to calm down and narrow down to values. Okay. When we are entering into a relationship, we need to have common goals, common grounds, and speak about the values that if it is trust, because mistrust, one thing, it takes a lifetime to build a relationship, but it comes to a second and it is crushed. And so when, why am I saying so? I'm speaking from a point of experience, and even we've shared with my sister Mikali. And so it takes a lifetime to build it. Even what you bring to the table at that particular point when trust issues comes in, what you've brought to the table for 10 years, it becomes zero, my sister. Thank you.
Question?
Now my question is, how will you, when you've recognized that this is the end, how will you now decide to walk out without hurting the emotions or the decisions of the other partner?
Okay, all right. And then you, and then you.
To add on that, how can, like, after you have already known, unezaje like kujipenda pia? Unajua bado ni ngumu, unajua especially madam, si unajua like ushajipea, ushajipasa, like hiyo
so akikutoka unajipendaje?
Like kujipenda.
Okay. All right.
To add on that,
yes.
Kulingana venye kunaendelea, mimi sioni kama nitataka marriage.
Wewe hauoni ni kama utataka?
Sioni. Okay, iki happen sawa, but mimi nikiulizwa sasa hivi sioni kama nataka.
Kwa nini?
Okay, first,
ebu ekelea microphone karibu ndio.
Anasema usiogope, unaogopa marriage lakini usiogope mic.
First, in the relationship, there's this
microphone.
Okay, thank
Apple.
you.
Yes.
Sorry. In the relationship, there's this thing called routine.
Okay.
Routine, bondom. Routine brings bondom.
Yeah.
Tumezoea kuwatch maybe unaona, alafu maybe one time tukuje tukue like umefail ama failed promises pia zinachangia. Alafu sasa mimi umekosea, umezoea kuniambia fake promises to fulfill, birthday yangu unasahau, unaona. Alafu maybe tuko tumezoea kitu fulani, tumezoea kufanyanga, tumezoeanga kuendanga Peru every my birthday ama birthday yako. But sasa inafika mahali unaanza kusahau ama unaanza kuacha. So unaona mimi ndakuwa like one sided effort ninakukumbusha. So unapata with the current generation Gen Z saizi hata ukiuliza sidanganya ngapi nataka kuolewa ama kuoa.
We anataka but then what is like absolutely no.
Niko na at least backup. So sieti atutaki, it's every person's dream to get married. It's every person's dream to have that cute family, watoi and everything, a happy family.
All right.
But as the theme of today, recognizing the end of a relationship. Sasa nisha recognize huyu msee ameanza kukua failed promises, ameanza kukua routine, ameanza kukua more boring na boeka. So tunaanza kufind ways, tunaanza tu kuenda. Sasa nime experience my best friend, maybe this I'm experience the same. Huyu pia nilikuwa na admire relationship yake, ndio imeenda hivyo. Sasa sitapata ile motisha ya kukua like
hakuna role model. Okay. And to add on to that, no, just kidding. Can we answer it? We have very limited time. 5 minutes before to maliza the show. Ujipende aje, and then the other question was how do you live without hurting the other person? All right. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Thank you. I would say how to live without hurting the other person. I think it's an impossibility because first of all, like the question is asking, this person still loves you, but you're the one who is
fallen out of love.
They will still get hurt, but there's a way you can do it in an amicable, humane way. I think the only way to do it is look for a humane way to do it. Make them understand that you're not walking out of the relationship because they're a bad person. It's just that you've stopped being compatible. So it's how you address it, how you talk about it, handle it with maturity and with humanity. Because sometimes there are people who just check out of a relationship and you just guess they've checked out, ghosting. They don't tell you. That is very painful because this person is still very much invested. About you guys who are saying you don't want to get married, it's okay. That's your preference. But I think one thing I'd want to leave saying is that know what marriage is. I like what CJ said. We've romanticized marriage so much that it's all about the romance and we forget that marriage is a sacrifice. They say that marriage is for two givers, not two takers. So you're both coming to give, and it's not about 50-50. It's 100-100. I give my 100, you give your 100. So marriage is about two givers. You would call it transactional. I would call it mutuality. Mutuality. Yes. So there's transactional and there's mutuality. So I call it mutuality. Mutual giving. Mutuality is, like she said, Ephesians 5. Man is called to love. I'm called to respect. That is mutuality. You do your part, I do my part in a mutual way where we both have a kitty. We are doing this to love one another, to build our marriage in a sacrificial way, to give to each other. You know, so marriage is for mature people, first of all, very mature people.
And mature doesn't mean age.
And mature doesn't mean age. You can even be 19 and you're mature and you're ready for marriage. Knowing that I'm coming into this thing to give and this person also to give, not to be takers. I like what she said. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. She said within the first month, she knew that man was not for her. So what I can can already tell for her when she's saying that, she's not getting into a casual relationship, because if it was a casual relationship, she could have stayed. She's looking for marriage, and she's saying, if I get married to this man and I get fat, that's a goner for me. I'm done. You know, by the way, fat girls are very loving. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Can you answer the question of depending?
I really wanted to answer her question. Thank you for that question. How do you move on after you've left this marriage, after you've said it's over? How do you move on happily? I think you tell yourself that in the past relationship, in this relationship, there were lessons learned, lessons that built you as a human being, so that when you move forward, you're getting now into a new relationship or new experiences. You're growing. That's growth, because you've moved from step 1 to step 2. So you cannot regret, we cannot say that what you've left is bad. What you've left is a lesson that we've learned. We've learned a lot from this, and then now we're moving on with a new mind, and you're getting to new experiences, new opportunities, and growth. I think when you tell yourself that, then you're good to go.
Okay, I see that. Charlotte, I'm going to give you a 30-second, and then CJ, you'll close this conversation for us.
Thank you very much.
Because you said from experience.
It's a very interesting conversation. We need to come back. Yes, we need to, and with the same cast, you know. So how do you move away from a relationship without hurting the other person? What is it that this other person did that made you want to leave that relationship in the first place? And let me tell you, let me say this. This might sound very selfish, but I'm going to say it as it is. Gone are the days when we would lie to these young girls and try to salvage what is already lost. If you feel like leaving, leave. Don't care what they will feel. I'm telling you. Because when the roles are reversed, they will do the same to you. And they will crush you to your grave. Please listen to me, young girls and men. If you feel that the relationship is no longer serving its purpose, if you feel that you no longer love, and as I earlier said, that you can no longer respect this person, you're no longer at peace, you're no longer happy, you're no longer yourself, the glow is gone, leave and don't think about what they'll feel. That's their business. If they did not think about you on the onset, about what you will feel, about what will happen with your life, leave and don't look back. They will find their own therapists to mbele wajipange na maisha yao.
I like that.
Love yourself as a woman, and love yourself as a man, and prioritize your mental health.
Listen, and on that note, listen, today is someone very special on this show's birthday, and she's running away. Her name is Dekola Chegi. I will sing happy birthday. Yes, you go ahead. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. What do you have to say for yourself? And use camera. We're a producer. You know this.
Place yourself
somewhere. What do you have to say? Tubamshika.
I knew there was no way. There was no way. Because like, you guys can be full, but no one can call me from behind there.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Well, don't worry. You cut the cake.
Thank you. Asanteni sana.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
CJ, you were supposed to close the show for us. You do it. And then we cut the cake. Okay. We let CJ Badliza and then we cut the cake. All right. CJ, please close the conversation for us, and then we close the show. Yes.
Yeah, just a few thoughts. You know, I love the energy and the passion with which Charlotte speaks. Happy birthday, Mabel. Wait, it's like I just had to come in today. Happy birthday.
Yes.
I love her energy. But then again, we've got to realize that it's not in every circumstance that you can easily pack up and leave. It depends on what is at stake.
Yes.
When you're talking about just two people, that's very easy. You get upset, you leave. When there are other factors, children, all of that, you can't just pack up and leave sometimes. So consider the cost of leaving before you leave. I agree to the point that, you know, you may not think too much about how the other person would feel, because that's more dependent on them than it is on you. But there's something somebody said earlier on, I don't know what she was called, Sharon from Mombasa, talked about the friendship. And when you lose the friendship, then you have lost everything. One of the challenges I feel that people have in relationships is that it's difficult to be a lover and a friend at the same time. The reason is, as a friend, I can tell you a lot of stuff. As a lover, I begin thinking about the repercussions of telling you everything. So it begins to kill and eat on the friendship. You have to be very deliberate to keep friendship even within the relationship. Well, if you feel it is over, well, find a way to leave.
Find a way?
Yeah.
Find a way. You can never say it, you will never hurt them. They will hurt. And at a way you will hurt because you have to grieve that relationship.
There's no easy way to break a heart.
Someone you can easily listen to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Very loving.
Yeah, and all those things. Listen, but someone said on the question that we asked, Samson Korir on X says, lack of intimacy, communication breakdown, stagnation, fear of loneliness, persistence, and unhappiness. And then this comment made me laugh. Someone said, this is from Benso, who says, someone falling in love hath no sense at all. I am just wondering, where someone swimming in a sea of delusions has the mind to stop and think why they're getting into a relationship. The Lulu is
someone else says drastic behavioral change. Some of the things they used to do, how they used to do them, changes drastically. For example, they no longer update you on what's happening with their day or communicate at all like they used to before. That's a red flag right there.
Absolutely. Why? Hey, change mind. Now you want to marry.
Oh, yeah. Our day is done. One deed of the day.
Thank you so much, guys, to each and every one of you for coming by today, and our lovely panelists. Thank you so much for coming by today. Happy birthday. See you tomorrow on Wellness Wednesday, right here on the world. Goodbye. Goodbye. Happy birthday.
Bonjour.
Happy birthday, dear amigo.
More.
Happy birthday, dear amigo.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.